Creatures of the night, it's your favorite ghoul, Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite / Collision, because we did have an hour of Collision along with Dynamite. This is the go home show for Full Gear, which will be on Saturday. And I have mixed feelings about not just a show, but almost kind of not feeling like there's a pay-per-view literally a couple of days away. I don't know. But let's talk about the show. We actually started off with a gauntlet match qualifier. The person who wins this match will be the first person to be in the gauntlet match. So we have Bobby Lashley going against Ricochet. Bobby Lashley came on out there, and that man's body is 100% right. Oh, it's just everything. Anyway, Ricochet comes out there with the demand, and he has a Philadelphia Eagles hoodie on, and he goes into the ring and talk for way too long about how Boston ain't shit and everything in between about Boston. So they're booing him. Bobby's standing in the corner like, when am I going to hurt him? I'm ready to hurt people. And that went on for a little bit too long. But once the match got started, it was quick. It was surprisingly... Well, no, let me not say surprisingly quick, because I did say he should just squash him, because, like, why the fuck not? So it just went real quick. Would I even say 4 minutes? Probably not even 4 minutes. And Bobby Lashley ends up taking the win, which I actually want. I wanted him to win because in the next match is going to be Shelton Benjamin going against Speedball, and the winner of that will take the number 2 spot on the gauntlet match. Now, just because Ricochet lost doesn't mean that he's not going to be in the match. I still am looking at Ricochet for the winner for the gauntlet match on Saturday, but he doesn't have to come in at any number really to win or lose that match. After this, Samoa Joe is cutting a promo. He has Shibata right next to him, basically letting Hangman know that before I get my hands on you at that steel cage match on Saturday at Full Gear, Shibata's going to take care of you, and then I'll take care of whatever's left of you at the pay-per-view. Now, what was interesting was Shibata had something to say too in Japanese, no translator. So he'll Shibata say, like, fuck all that. If you understand me, you understand me. If you don't, you don't. And he said what he said, which I have no clue what he said, but I love heel Shibata. Now, Renee Paquette was getting ready to interview the Young Bucks, but the Young Bucks are interrupted by Uncle Don, who's basically like, hey, you're going to go out there, you're going to team up with Josh Alexander, and then after you're done, you're going to let everyone know that you have chosen the Don Callis family to be your family or your way of protection, whatever the hell he said. So up next, we had Josh Alexander teaming up with the Young Bucks to go against Skyflight. And immediately, I am just like, oh, Skyflight, I didn't know this. I feel bad for them already. Young Bucks, they're a great team. I don't really care for them like that, but they're a great team. And Josh Alexander is amazing. And I feel like we hardly, for whatever reason, get a chance to see Josh in the ring since he's been there. But we'll give it some time before things really cook up with Josh in AEW. But anyway... Don Callis, he is doing the intro for the Young Bucks as they're coming out, and they look so annoyed. They look so annoyed by the whole situation, and they go out there, and I thought that they did decent with Josh. At times, it seemed to be like they weren't on the same page, and maybe that was done on purpose, I guess, but... Skyflight didn't stand a chance. They didn't stand a chance whatsoever. They end up picking the win on Dante Martin, who ended up tapping with the ankle lock from Josh. After the match was over, Uncle Don came over there and basically saying, hey, Young Bucks, remember, gotta let everyone know, if you're going to join the Don Callis family, you will be joining the Don Callis family because y'all broke. We've been helping y'all financially with the things that y'all needed. I'm the reason why y'all even got your theme song and a little bit of pyro coming on. And like, he's being very manipulative, which is interesting. And here comes Kenneth Omega, who comes on out there. He comes on out there. He got his ass stomped. Yes, he did. Even Uncle Don, put his feet into that as well. And The Young Bucks, they are looking like they don't want to get involved. They're even trying to get Kenny away from attacking the Don Callis family. And then Uncle Don's like, yeah, give him a BTE trigger. And they're just like, they didn't really want to. And you can really see like they love Kenny. They miss Kenny. I love Kenny. I miss Kenny too. So I totally understand. And for whatever reason, they look like they were going to give him the BTE trigger. But then here comes Jurassic Express. What's his name? Jack Perry. He had something. What he had in his hand? He had a shovel in his hand. And Luchasaurus, the dinosaur, had a vacuum cleaner in his hand. And I guess if somebody's running after you with a vacuum cleaner, you just have to run. So they ended up running off. And then you see Josh pretty much putting his arms around both of the Bucks. And it almost looked like they chose a side. Honestly, I don't think he actually chose a side. It just looks like that in that moment. And then you hear Kenny. He's not on the mic, but you can hear Kenny saying, oh, so now you chose to be with the Don Callis family now? And I was just like, all right, I see where this is going. Overall, I do like the little story that they're playing here because I do feel like ultimately we're going to get Kenny versus Josh in a one-on-one match, which I am definitely looking forward to. And then also the Young Bucks, they want to be back with Kenny. I don't know if they will do that, but I like how you see them being kind of remorseful and kind of seeming like they don't want to be bad guys anymore and they want to be back with Kenny. And I don't know if long-term Kenny Omega is going to be forgiving and taking them back. Now after this, we have our second match to qualify for who get the second spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at the pay-per-view. So we have Shelton Benjamin going against Speedball. And I was just like, everyone say your prayers for Speedball because it's not going to be pretty. Now, I thought it was going to be a squash situation, but honestly, it wasn't a squash situation like how they did with Ricochet. So that was interesting. And something even more interesting happened. Now, I think that most people watching didn't see that Speedball would even take the win. But for whatever reason, something happened and it seems like Speedball was knocked out and Shelton goes for the cover. And when he covers him, referee actually... It was a 3 count, but it wasn't supposed to be a 3 count. So now ref trying to go for the save, like, oh, his shoulder's not touching the mat. When I tell you Speedball was flat like a pancake, okay? We all knew it. I don't know what happened. Whatever situation is, I hope he's okay. But it might have seemed like he was out of it and just could not, kick out at that time. And like literally like a super kick, a little Busaiku knee to the face or whatever, and a super kick, it was done with just 2 more moves after that. And I felt like, oh, that's it. Like y'all literally barely continued the match. Might as well have just went for the 3. Shelton was going to win anyway. So it was pretty awkward with whatever was going on with that because the referee really was trying to continue the match since it was supposed to continue. But since Shelton was supposed to win, I would have just had him win anyway. But we got Shelton and Bobby being the first 2 to start the gauntlet match. Friendly little competition between 2 guys in the Hurt Syndicate. I am so on board to see how that match starts on Saturday. After this, we have the Death Riders, which is Claudio Castagnoli, Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ. Moxley going against Orange Cassidy, unfortunately, and Roderick Strong. I'm bored. Not that the match was bad, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of like, while everybody's saying that they're tired of seeing the Death Riders, I'm just tired of seeing them in the loop with the same people. Like, I just want, like, there's a whole roster of people. Can we move on? Like, I'm in my mind, I'm moving on. So I'm kind of annoyed with the whole thing. The match was great, and I love seeing Roderick look real strong out there. He looks so good in the ring. And the more I've been seeing Roderick these past few weeks, I just like, yes, like, please, like, keep this going. I want to see, like, Roderick or Kyle O'Reilly in the Continental Classic. Just us seeing them a little bit more right now. I hope it leads to more opportunities. I don't know. We'll see. Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia is ringside. The beautiful Marina Shafir is ringside too. But Daniel Garcia, at times, it's like he was trying to help and it didn't help. And he comes off useless. So Wheeler Yuta had to go out there to help them win. And I was just like, look, I don't mind the cheating or whatever, but like, I'm just waiting to see and feel something of Daniel Garcia being in this group. And honestly, just not yet. Just not yet. We'll wait and see where it goes from there. Post-match attack, which we do appreciate from the Death Riders. But Kyle O'Reilly comes on out there to help his bestie, Roderick. And he gets on the mic. Oh, no, before he got on the mic, he snatched up Jon Moxley, put him in an ankle lock. Jon Moxley, they said he tapped, all right? I don't know about tapping. I think that Jon Moxley was trying to grip onto the mat so that he can, I don't know, get out of that ankle lock. And it's a flat surface, so he couldn't. So maybe it looked like he was tapping. I don't know. And everybody was like, oh, you tap, you tap, you tap. Whatever. Boston has no home training, apparently. And the Death Riders, they all kept trying to get them away. Not security, the referees were even there for nothing, just standing there. Like there was like 3 or 4 referees there, pretty much just watching them heinously attacking the Death Riders, which is just so unfair. And they finally end up pulling Jon Moxley away from Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly gets on the mic and challenges Jon Moxley to a match at Full Gear, a no DQ match at Full Gear at that. So that was pretty interesting to see. Kyle O'Reilly needs this. He needs this. I don't want Mox to tap again, but he really needs this because I've been saying for so long, like he's so talented and he needs to really, really start standing out as a character or just being with other big names within AEW to, further his career over there because he's a fucking amazing. And Danielson doing commentary, seeming to enjoy the heinous attack from Conglomeration on Moxley. Lovely. Very lovely. After this, we get a promo from Bandito and Brody King. I don't know what they said, but I was looking at Brody King. He's so dreamy. So I don't know what they said. Sorry, don't know what he said. And then we get a chance to see Mercedes Moné coming into the building, with her nice, outfits or whatever as she's coming in because she's going to be in the main event match on Collision. After that, we also hear from Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. And Kenny is basically saying, Josh, I'm going to get my hands on you for what you did. He said you broke Ibushi's leg and you're proud about it. But when you got your hands on Michael Nakazawa, who ain't worth a damn, that's when it got personal. And I was like, oh, why is it personal with Michael and not with Ibushi? I don't know, whatever. And, they're going to take care of them at the pay-per-view for $1 million. They're going for $1 million. What was it? $1 million for the winning team. And apparently Tony Khan got money to throw out like that, so we're doing it. Now, after this, we do have Alex Windsor teaming up with Riho to go against Mina Shirakawa and Timeless Toni Storm. Mina and Tony, they had like the same outfit but different colors, and I really liked that. I thought it was cute. And there's apparently a new dance that Mina's doing with Tony, so that was cute too. But I don't think that anyone thought for 1 second on earth that Alex and Riho was going to win. They really, out of all the teams in the whole tag tournament, had the least experience with each other. And they could have had taken more initiative to have Alex and Riho team more these past few weeks or whatnot, just to get people to see them more together, and they just never did that. If you watch Ring of Honor, you watch my reviews, I talked about how Alex Windsor has been teaming up with Yuka Sakazaki and Suri on Ring of Honor. None of those girls are Riho, so we never got a chance to really see what type of chemistry that Alex and Riho would have, so I don't think it was believable from their jump. The Timeless Love Bombs ends up taking the win. I'm not mad about it or anything, but I just don't want them to win the AEW Women's Tag Championships. No, that's not for me. So now we got a backstage interview with Uncle Don, who's with Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Briscoe. They're doing their interviews. They agree that they would not be physical with each other, so they're talking about their match that they're going to have on Saturday. And it was interesting because Hechiseto and Okada comes out and they put the pause on Mark Briscoe. Now look, Kyle Fletcher said he was not going to put his hands. He agreed to not putting his hands on Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe should have kept his friends close just in case if there were any shenanigans, because Okada got his hands on Mark Briscoe as well as Hechiseto. Now, after they, did what they did to Mark, Okada's talking about, oh, Takeshita wouldn't do anything like this for you, like how I'm doing it, Proto-Okada and all this shit. I was like, hell to the nah. Very interesting to see where that whole thing is going. And we'll talk about the whole thing with Okada and Takeshita a little bit more during Collision. Now, after this, we get a promo from Pac, who apologized to Darby Allin because he promised him that he was going to break his neck, and he did not deliver. That turned me on when he said that. I was like, oh, a man who wants to be a man of his word. He said he was going to break your neck. He didn't do it, but he's going to get his hands on you at the pay-per-view and do it this time. And to be honest, I don't really care about the Darby Allin thing anymore. I'm a little over it or whatever. But it's nice to see that, they're, going to have them go one-on-one. And he said, look, there's not going to be no shenanigans, no weapons, no nothing. Just you and me in the ring. And then him being like a legitimate athlete or whatever. Like, Pac, do y'all not see that man? Not an ounce of fat on that man. Like, this man is just in tip-top shape, and he's an amazing wrestler, and I hope he beats Darby Allin at Full Gear. He better. Now, for our main event for Dynamite, we have Shibata going against Hangman. Hangman has kinesio tape on that neck. They wrapped his midsection and everything. He doesn't look that great, but he does look good though. He's been at the gym and I do appreciate that. He comes on out there and heel Shibata is ready. We have Samoa Joe on commentary. He looked like he was going to kill Shivani at first, but we're professionals. We're not going to get into killing anybody tonight. And he does his job and he's doing commentary. Heel Shibata is freaking amazing. I just feel like he's a little bit more locked in. I mean, he's always locked in, but I just feel like that brings a little bit more character out of him, and it's fun to see him being a heel. Obviously, they're not going to have Shibata, beat Hangman. Hangman already went with Hobbs. Hobbs lost, and then here's Shibata just being that one more obstacle that he has to face to go against Samoa Joe on Saturday. What I did like was Shibata. So to end off the match, Shibata went to put Hangman in an ankle lock. Hangman, for whatever reason, because I never really pay attention, but he's wrestling in cowboy boots, like legitimate cowboy boots. This is not wrestling boots that look like cowboy boots. This is actual cowboy boots. So he's wearing those. He goes to put the ankle lock on a Hangman, and the boots slip right off his feet. And that catches Shibata off guard. And he went to throw the shoe. The Hangman caught it as it came back down from the air. And he ends up knocking Shibata. And then he gets in place for the buckshot lariat. And, ends up taking the win. And then that's when the show cut off, because now it's time for Collision or whatever. Hangman gets on the mic after kicking Shibata in the nuts, which is not nice, Hangman. And then he's doing a promo on Joe, basically saying, I put Hobbs in the hospital. He said he did something. He said he's putting Shibata somewhere. I don't know what he said, but they obviously cut it. And honestly, if it's Max, why are we cutting profanity and shit? Like, does that even matter? TV, sure. But on the app, it's not that big of a deal. At least not to me. And, he ends up mentioning how, you sit over there, you do your commentary where you belong. And then he mentioned the whole thing about the poncho. Y'all know about the poncho. Especially if you watch WWE, you know exactly what he was talking about when he mentioned the poncho. And I was like, really, Hangman? You just going to mention that as if we should be talking about that again? Very interesting. But whatever. Their match is coming on, steel cage. And Shibata, yes, he lost. Hobbs, yes, he lost, but Samoa Joe does have the advantage because they had to go through those two monsters, and Hangman pretty much weakened himself for the past 2 weeks being in action with these two guys, while Samoa Joe been sitting pretty with that little title on his shoulder. So he's going to be fresh in the match, and Hangman is doing what a champion should be doing, which is getting into the ring, but he's all wrapped up and everything, so he's not in the best of shape. I'm still looking forward to that match, even though it is a rematch, but still cage involved. After this, we do have a promo from FTR basically telling Brodito, don't worry about us. Have the night off. We won't put our hands on you. We're not going to touch your grandma or any of that shit. You're good. Just wait till Saturday when we take them titles off of y'all. And honestly, I believe them. I actually believe them. I feel like they're going to take the titles off of Brodito. Even though I do enjoy Brodito together, I wish we would have gotten a little bit more from them. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening on Saturday. Now, after this, we have our other women's tag tournament match. Marina Shafir teaming up with Megan Bayne, the beautiful Megan Bayne, to go against Ty J, which is Anna J and Tay Mello. They lost. Ty J lost. Like, I don't even have to tell y'all that. I am still a little disappointed because I don't feel like I got a chance to really see the synergy between Marina and Megan, because I really want to see them feel like a cohesive unit. Like, I really want them to feel like a legitimate tag team, and I just felt like it felt more of two people that's just in the ring that are partners. It didn't really feel like that tag team chemistry, but I guess it'll take some time before they actually get to have that, but whatever. Ty J lost. I will say this, I know they probably feel really disappointed about this because they've been touting themselves as the original AEW women's tag team, because they've had the most experience out of all the female tag teams within AEW from years ago. They've been teaming for a really long time, so I know that they probably did not feel happy about this. But while some people might feel sad for them, Megan Bayne, like, there's no reason why the tag title should not be on Megan Bayne's shoulder. So we'll see. But we also had the Timeless Love Bombs. They did their little promo. So what's happening here is that at Full Gear, there will be a 4-way with all the 4 teams that are left in the tournament. The 4-way is to determine whichever one wins, they will determine the stipulation of their next match in the semifinals. And honestly, I was like, oh, I thought maybe y'all was going to try to finish up the tournament on the pay-per-view, and that's not the case. But still, it'll be interesting to see who ends up winning that. Match of the night, we have Mascara Dorada going against Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada, I love him. I really love him. I wish we got a chance to see more of him since he's been holding this title for God knows how long now. But he really did well. I was like, okay, this is going to be a fucking banger. We've seen them in the ring before, when they had the trios match where Takeshita was also in that match as well. And they tore it up. That's definitely one of my favorite matches of the year. And this was another really great match. Like, I was actually expecting to see graphics of Mascara Dorada is all elite or whatever after that tonight, but he did amazing. He made Okada work. If y'all haven't seen Okada doing anything yet, y'all seen it tonight. This was so good. Really, really good. Mascara Dorada is like, what, 23, 24 years old, and that man is just almost flawless in the ring. And I feel like this was the most that I've seen out of Okada, especially since the last match that they had in that 3-way. Okada, obviously, he's a champion. And yes, he has a unified championship, but Mascara Dorada is one of CMLL's trios champion. So no titles or anything obviously involved or whatnot. But I figured, okay, well, Okada's not doing anything at the pay-per-view. He might as well do something, for the go-home show. But I was wrong. So what ended up happening is Okada ends up taking the win with a Rainmaker, obviously. And Uncle Don gets on the mic announcing that, since, his team is nothing but winners, that we're going to have a trios match at the Tailgate Brawl before Full Gear, which is going to be the CMLL trios, which is Mascara Dorada, Mystico, and Neon. They're going to be teaming up to put the titles on the line to go against Okada, Hechicero, and Konosuke Takeshita. When they said that, Okada looked so disgusted, like so disgusted, like you could throw up in the middle of the ring. And Hechiseda looked like, I'm gonna be teaming up with these two idiots that hate each other. I'm not winning that title apparently. And it was the comedy in that was just go back and just look at their reactions. It's fucking hilarious. And obviously Uncle Don's so happy about it because he loves Takeshita, but Okada is not happy about it at all. Main event, we had the Ring of Honor women's unification match. So basically, Mercedes has the interim title. She had won it from Mina the last pay-per-view. And then our champion, Red Velvet, comes in with the actual Ring of Honor women's TV title. The match I thought was okay, but I still feel like the wrong decision was made here with Mercedes winning it, because I don't know. Not that I don't know what happens from here, but I don't think that it's really going to make a difference in terms of Ring of Honor or not. So she has 13 titles altogether. Statlander was watching from commentary and even got involved into a little scuffle with Mercedes after the match. Mercedes was holding up the title, and Statlander actually carried Red Velvet to the back. Honestly, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all. Long story short, I just want to see professional wrestling, be better when it comes to women. So I just don't feel happy for one person winning it all. It doesn't make sense to me. I do like Mercedes, but it could have been another person winning all the titles and I would feel the very same way. I don't think this is necessarily going to change anything for Ring of Honor in terms of people actually wanting to watch Ring of Honor, because if she's not participating, then it doesn't really matter. Overall, Go Home show for Full Gear, I think could have been it don't feel too much like a pay-per-view is coming on. I guess I just wish it was a little bit stronger. The matches were okay, but we'll see what ends up happening at the pay-per-view on Saturday. So I'll do a prediction video on that, and we can discuss like what we think might happen for the pay-per-view, since we do have a couple of more matches added on. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back on Thursday with Ring of Honor. See you guys then. Bye.